Man, Life is a classic.
Oh yeah,
a masterpiece, really.
Yeah, man.
It gives you every emotion. I made a show about it.
No, that was one of them. That's one of them comedy movies where when you hear who's in it, it delivered exactly as you thought it was going to deliver. You know what I mean? You're like, wait, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy got a movie? Yes, it should be that kind of great.
Like I think I cried when I watched that movie.
What you cry for?
Nigga, that was in prison for life. Nigga, life was thrown away for bullshit. Like when it was all like that montage, everybody just passing away with that song, that Wycliffe Jean.
That Wycliffe going, yeah.
Oh, you Trump. Oh, you. It just disappeared. I'm like, oh no! We got back when he stole that white only pot.
Right. Snap. I burnt my tongue.
Look at you, got me shaking. Now my toe in the bottle.
Oh shit, my toe in the bottle. You know how to get that in here, don't you? Man. Classic. All right, we can go. I'm ready. What up? Welcome in. Hello, kids, adults, dogs, cats, Manny Fresh. What's happening, everybody? How y'all feeling? Thank y'all for listening to us. Thank y'all for watching us. This is Open Gym Sports and Culture. This is the show where we talk about sports. This is the show where we talk about culture and a bunch of other wonderful things along the way. I am your host, Big Dave. And once again, we got us a wonderful panel. Why don't I introduce them to y'all? My man over here with the hoodie on looking like the Unabomber. Main man, Gio. What's happening with you, sir? How are you?
I'm doing good. I think I'm about to call my third grade teacher, complain about a grade I got because DC a state now.
You holding them grudges, ain't you, Gio?
Yeah, I was right. Saw the future. 51 in here.
Hey, man, I say put on some glasses and go over there in that hoodie and see what she says. That's what I say. See what happens.
I'm just waiting on Puerto Rico to get there so,
hey,
so I can call a fifth grade teacher.
So speaking of that, let's say hello to the Puerto Rican poppy himself, that man, Robbie O. What up, Rob? What's happening?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Union are going to the semifinal of the CONCACAF Champions League. I'm out here rapping all day, every day. Let's go, baby. You know what I mean?
And we got us a new person with us today, ladies and gentlemen. I got Dmo. What up with you, bro? What's going on?
What's going on? Just like Robert over there, man. I have to rep my city, man. Chicago all the way.
Yes,
watching
sir.
them White Sox do their thing right now.
Yeah, Chicago all day. Yo, let's get into the show, fellas. Why don't we? The NFL draft has come and gone, and we were not disappointed unless you're a fan of the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. There were no surprises with the first pick. Trevor Lawrence was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Zach Wilson flew up the draft board and went number 2 overall to the New York Jets, while Trey Lance rounded out the top 3, being selected by the San Francisco 49ers. There were other picks, but they do not matter because the pick of the night was the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields from Ohio State. The Bears took a quarterback, a black quarterback. It's never been seen or done ever. So I must ask, and let me start with my man Rob. I'm coming to you first, sir. Who were the biggest winners and losers in the NFL draft this season?
Chicago finally got a quarterback. How much better the NFL is when Chicago is relevant and it's doing good, and then they whooping on Green Bay. We got a diva in Green Bay who doesn't want to be there anymore for whatever reasons that is. And you want to leave? Where you want to go? You want to go replace Brady in Tampa? Like, come on, man. And another winner, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles, man. We finally got a... No, and let me explain to you guys why. Like, this is a guy who... I know I'm biased as Come on, you see the flag, but I mean, no one noticed. No one noticed. But we finally got a receiver who can not just play the slide, he can play outside, he can play everywhere. The guy's fast. I know he's skinny, but you know who else is skinny? Kevin Durant. And he's one of the best players in the league. Come on with it, man. You know who was skinny too? Chad Ochocinco. And that motherfucker nice. Come on with it, man. Alabama, the dude is a winner. He can catch him. As long as that kid can catch the ball, you gotta catch him. And that's the hardest part. You feel me? And to me, the biggest losers, and I love this, I'm enjoying it, the New York Giants. We had to trade with the Dallas Cowboys to get Devontae Smith, and they just missed out on it. I loved it. The Giants, New York. Let's go. But I'm so happy for Chicago. The league needed Chicago to be relevant, and I couldn't be happier for you guys. Seriously.
I don't want to be biased either, but I have to say the Chicago Bears. You know, I mean, and in a lot of analysts' eyes, the Chicago, you repping it. You repping it. That's what it is. I mean, the Chicago Bears, man. I mean, going and getting Justin Fields that early, you know, making that trade to go up and get him. I think they made all the right moves. You got, you know, the GM and the coach trying to do everything they can to preserve whatever job life they got, you know, trying to make that longevity last, you know. So I respect it. You know, going and getting that quarterback and Justin Fields, and then addressing the offensive line that was terrible for years. Getting 2 offensive tackles, going and getting another running back to help carry the load. That way we don't, you know, run ours into the ground. You know, I think that was everything. You know, that was something that was desperately needed. And I'm excited. I mean, it's basketball season, and I'm already thinking about football. So, biggest loser wise, I gotta say the Packers. You know, one, they losing Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying more than likely because he's saying from what I understand, he calling for the GM seat. So I'm thinking, you know, they're gonna either lose the GM or they're gonna lose the quarterback. And they didn't address, you know, the offense. They didn't really address it until later rounds, you know. And it's like, come on, go and get one of these offensive weapons, one of these wide receivers that's out there, because there was a plethora of receivers that was going in the first and second round.
Gio, sir, would you like to round this out with everybody and give us your winner and loser? Please round it out with everybody, sir, with your winner.
All right, so a couple of episodes ago, my main man Tone was on here talking about he's done with the Bears, and I was right with him. And then they try to pull me back in every time I leave. You know what I mean? Every time I try to leave. So of course, they went out and they didn't just get a black quarterback. They got the black quarterback that won a national championship from my favorite college football team, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Y'all really want me to be a fan? I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to sweeten me up, but I was still suspected. I'm hurt. I'm damaged. You hit me. I'm not going back as fast as you think I am. As for winners, this is the first black quarterback they done drafted since 1977.
Correct.
So we win in that aspect. And also, side note, y'all not gonna make me feel bad for not wearing any Chicago memorabilia. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Talking about, son. Talking about. What you bad right there, son? What you talking about? What you talking about?
Losers. Jalen Waddle family. This man got up. It was like, you know what? Money talks, man. Not talking to y'all, broke motherfuckers. I'm going this way. I love when he got up and he looked and then he saw his mom recognize that he was leaving and then he just turned around and got out of it. Shout out to Jonathan Cooper. He got drafted to the Broncos. I saw a clip of him today. The neighborhood kids all like was outside at his apartment clapping for him. And it was like such a heartfelt moment. I was like, oh yeah.
Agreed. I'll say this. Let me finish this off by agreeing with all you intelligent, wonderful people and saying, yes, the winners of the draft were the Chicago Bears. And as Gio just mentioned, I mean, the only black quarterback you drafted was in 77. That was Vince Evans in the 6th round. And he was clearly better than the quarterback they had, according to my brother. He'll yell about this for hours. Vince Evans was clearly better, and they still wouldn't put him at. They tried to put him at receiver. You know how that story goes. But this is the first time that they actually not just took a black quarterback, but a good quarterback that everybody agreed was a really good quarterback. It was no like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know about that one. It was like, no, this dude, he's official. You guys got somebody. And since the Super Bowl era, the Chicago Bears have had 51 different starting quarterbacks. 51, okay? They have never in the history of the Bears had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Nobody ever has done that. And the losers, honestly, my first thought was, I was like, well, I didn't like what the Houston Texans did because I don't think they addressed their defense until the 5th round. And they were 4-12, not because they didn't have a quarterback, but because their defense was terrible and they lost J.J. Watt and they still didn't address their defense, I thought that was terrible. But honestly, the real losers is anybody who wasn't a Chicago Bears fan, because we got a quarterback. We got a quarterback. That's it. We're done. But Gio, let me ask you too, man. What did you see? Like when they traded up, what was your feeling, man? When they traded up, were you like, they're gonna get this dude, or were you like, no, they're going with Mac Jones, which is what everybody pretty much thought?
I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I'm for sure they was gonna get some quarterback from Duke who threw 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns his last 3 games of his senior year. Like I was pretty sure there was gonna be some type of academic scholarship draft fund promotion to the NFL that they were gonna do. I was dead set that they were gonna get this wrong, and they proved me wrong. Yeah, they came in, they did it right. They did it right. They did good.
Rob, let me ask you, man. Because there was a team in your division that had a pretty good draft, man. Them Cowboys had a pretty good draft, brother. Like, does that concern you a little bit going into the season?
Maybe a little bit. My biggest thing with the Cowboys is, like, can Dak play? You know what I mean? You can have all those picks. You can have all that stuff. But, you know, can the dude play quarterback? I hope he does. I don't want to be beaten up on a QB-less Cowboys team. I want to beat them full strength. You feel me? But, you know, I'm more concerned with Dak. You know what I mean? I hope he does well. I really do. The dude just got paid. Yeah. You know what I mean? That you want to see more black quarterbacks in the league. You feel me? But with that being said, like, all right, you can take all those damn draft picks. They're going to be busts. I mean, come on with it, man. 8-8. Hold up. What is it now? 8 and 9? Because it's about to be 17 games.
Yes.
Yeah, under 500. Let's get it. I got
a question for you, Dave.
Sure.
How do you feel about Deion Sanders talking about no HBCUs players were drafted?
Saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. I mean, none were drafted. That's crazy. And that's wild. I don't think that's going to be continuing, personally. I think guys like Deion Sanders, having him there and him actually speaking out and saying it is the only reason people noticed it. And that's the point I've been making. That's what's good about him being there. It wouldn't even cross your mind unless Deion Sanders said it, because it wouldn't have made the news unless Deion Sanders said it. So that's what's great about that. That's what's great about him being there and guys like Eddie George now being with HBCU schools, because now they could bring exposure to those kind of things. Because in the NFL, they're always looking for, you know, the stuff nobody else is looking at, you know, like we could go in this dark corner, or, you know, where nobody sees a real player, where he's like throwing the football through a chain link fence, you know, at night because he's working 2 jobs or something. You know what I mean? Like they're always looking for that story or that player or something like that.
You imagine I'm sorry to cut you off. Imagine if he beats like a big time school like Michigan, like Appalachian State. You imagine that?
Yeah. It don't even have to be Michigan. It could be Western Michigan. And it'd be somebody like, and that would put them on the map.
It could be Coastal Carolina. They had a good season.
Correct.
You feel me? Like, you know, if this kid goes to work and he start recruiting people and they get ranked, we're cooking with guys.
Issues, baby.
Feel me?
Yeah, I'm
the
excited.
Future's black, baby. Get used to it.
Talk to him, Rob. Talk to him, my friend. My friend.
We're starting to see more prospects too go to the HBCUs. I mean, like, what's his name? Percy Miller. Is that his name?
Master P's son. Yeah.
Nah, what's his son name?
We're gonna call him Percy right now.
Percy, I'm gonna call him Master P son. Just signed with the HBCU. So I mean, it's good to see, you know, top prospects looking at it now too. You know, I mean, I know that's basketball, but I mean, I'm thinking we're gonna start seeing the same thing with football as well. You know, they're gonna start to, you know, migrate more towards it.
Agreed.
Yo, shout out to Master P, bro. Master P, nice, man. Yeah, he like a real entrepreneur. Like, yo, he feeding so many people right now on the real.
No question about it. An unprecedented NBA season has come to an end. The 72-game season, which was shortened due to the pandemic, was a hit with most and a mess with some. While there was some big injuries, like guys like Jamal Murray, that really hurt championship aspirations, The overall season was full of drama, intrigue, and just a whole lot of fun. Unless you were my Chicago Bulls. Dmo, I'm gonna come to you first, man. I'm gonna ask you, give me your MVP since the season's done. Give me your MVP and another player you feel will win one of the big individual awards.
NBA MVP. I gotta go with Steph Curry right now.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
Steph Curry. He's just still putting up those numbers. He's still putting up those historic numbers. He getting them in W's. And he's fighting that really shaky talent, team into that playoff team to at least fight for playoff consideration. Golden State definitely wouldn't be nowhere near where they at right now without Steph. They would probably be, just how they were last year at the bottom of the league. I gotta say he my clear cut. I don't want to say clear cut, but he's definitely my MVP number one. Another award that I would probably give is probably Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. I know the Bulls don't look so hot right now, but the beginning of the season he came out real hot. The middle of the season he was real hot. Putting up his numbers. It's just that he don't really have much help. Again, I think that Zach LaVine was the clear-cut most improved, just able to do, all of that stuff and put up those numbers, even with the team kind of failing. I feel like he should still be the most improved.
Gio, same to you, man. Your MVP and another player you feel that you will win one of these individual awards.
Last year, the Phoenix Suns went undefeated in the bubble, but their record was so freaking trash that they still missed out on the play-in game for the playoffs. They get the point guard. Chris Paul is doing something that a lot of superstars really don't do, and it's kind of the secret. It's the Isaiah Thomas secret of things is let your teammates cook. If Devin Booker is going to drop 30 and he going to get 7 assists, I'm good with my 8 assists. I'm going to let you do your ISO. I'm going to let you make plays. I'm going to make plays. I'm going to make plays so that you can make plays. It's a conjoined team effort, and his professionalism, his hard-assness, his dedication, it's all there. He's mellowed out. He's vegan now. He's not much of an asshole as he used to be. As for other award, most improved, I hate to say it, arch rival. Well, we got to go to New York and look at Julius Randle. I'm looking at him ball out, and it flashback to like 2 years ago around this time. Enes Kanter said, he was talking about Zion. He's like, Zion just Julius Randle with hops. And like ever since then, he has like a chip on his shoulder. And you know what? Maybe Zion is Julius Randle. The man is balling. New York has a history. Larry Johnson, Bernard King, Charles Oakley, Amari Stoudemire. New
Mason.
York gets power forwards right.
Anthony
And
Mason.
They are in here. They are in Rob division, and he not gonna like it. But Julius Randle hanging on the rim and looking at Embiid, and he ain't scared. He ain't scared. Most improved.
Come on, Rob. I know you ready. I see you getting ready, son. I see the camera angle has switched and moved over. So I'm gonna just give you that floor, man. Your MVP and your individual awards. Hit it.
Bruh, I'm feeling like Bad Bunny in the WWE right now. I'm taking over, baby. Get my soul, Poppy. What's good? Yo, I you know what? I'm gonna just let my wall talk. I'm gonna let my wall talk. I'm gonna let y'all know who the MVP is. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the big man, the one and only, the African monster, the 7-foot wonder, ladies and gentlemen, Joel Embiid. Why? Because we stick without him. That's why. The man brings value. He can score. He can defend. He can pass the ball. He can do it all. He can do it all better than the fat guy in Denver. Come on with it, man. We in first freaking place, baby. Last year, it was a first-round exit. This year, we're talking titles, baby. We're talking back-to-back titles. We're going to win it this year and next year. Let's go Sixers, baby. You know what I mean? Come on with it, man. Play that music in the background. Clap your hands, everybody, for Philadelphia 76ers. Let's go with it, man. Defensive player of the year, I got to go with my man Ben Simmons. I can't believe I'm saying this, man, but
Wow.
the man is good. Yo, yeah, I'm showing Ben some love. I'm showing Ben some
Wow.
love. I got to show some love, but the man is averaging 7 rebounds a game, almost two steals a game, and almost a whole block per game. And we really missed him when he was out. You know what I mean? That was something that I kind of realized. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not the biggest Ben Simmons guy, but we need his defense. He can literally stop your best player. You know, he's a 6'10" point forward who can move around the court. He can play full court. He can play half court. He just needs to score more. But defense is his specialty. You know what I mean? But, you know, we need a lot more from him. But right now, defensive player, I got to go with Ben Simmons, man. Bias.
Gio, I got this. I got this, Gio. I got it. All year long. All year long, brother. I've listened to you just tear down Ben Simmons to the point where you're trying to trade him every time we talk. You're trying to trade Ben Simmons into the Bulls for Zach LaVine every time we had a conversation. So the sudden change happened now? Like, why the sudden change now, sir?
We need the guy, bro. We need the guy. Like, literally, when he was out for like those 2 weeks, like we couldn't win. We couldn't win, man. It is what it is. I'm just accepting the facts. I'm not a Republican. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, I accept the fact. I got to look at the numbers, man.
I was with you for a while, Rob, as far as Embiid was concerned. I didn't see anything he was doing to not win the award, including him being injured. I was like, well, I didn't think that took him out because when he came back, he still was on top of his game and doing his thing. But I tell you what, man, that fat man in Denver, hey, man, look, bro, what that brother is doing out there, not only was he doing it before getting 50-point triple-doubles, what happened was Jamal Murray goes out, who truly hurts your chances of being, a champion. Well, let's look at their record since he's left. Oh my goodness, they went 9-1 in their first 10 games without him. That is because of Jokic. When I saw that, I said, how can I not give it to this dude? I can't front on this dude. I'm going to give him MVP, man. I think it's him. As far as other awards, and for me, I was looking at 6 Man of the Year, man. I just want to show love to Jordan Clarkson because I think Jordan Clarkson deserves the 6 Man of the Year award in Utah. Because if it was a dude that trading him around kind of messed with his head, it was that guy. Because when he left and went to Cleveland, you remember before he left, he was all cool. He was happy. I'm in LA. It's just smooth. He go to Cleveland. You don't even recognize him because every part of his body was covered in a tattoo. Like, he went through it. But now he went to Utah, and now they letting him just be him. They're not telling him, they're just saying, dude, just go cook, because that's what you like to do. Fine, just go do that. We know when to pull you out. So coaching has really helped him. So I'm proud of what Jordan Clarkson has done in Utah, man. I just want to show him some love. So I got him for my 6 Man of the Year.
You know what? I think he's doing good because they don't sell Henny in Utah.
No, I just remember.
Dmo, I need you to know, Dmo, that boy Rob, man. Listen, he has been trying to sell us Ben Simmons for Zach LaVine since I've known him. So he's been trying to sell us that dude forever, man. And I had to keep telling him no, Dmo. I couldn't let him do it like that.
His light-skinned ass gonna look good in that Chicago uniform, man. You know that. You know that. Come on with it, man.
They both light-skinned.
Tell him, Dmo. Tell him.
They both light-skinned.
Give us LaVine. I'll take LaVine.
Tell him.
I mean, Ben Simmons, I think even though they both had they knee injuries, they both had their ACLs torn before.
That's true.
I feel like Ben Simmons is even more injury prone than what Zach LaVine is. Zach LaVine is actually playing these games. He's playing 4 seasons and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can't get rid of somebody that you know is legit and that's not going to get hurt, you know what I'm saying? Or you feel like it's not going to get hurt. What's the best ability? Availability. That's the best ability.
But he Australian. You know what I mean? Like, yo, come on. Get on, crikey. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on with it, man. He nice.
I found it interesting that, like, everybody has been talking about how Simmons and Embiid can't play with each other. And now Doc here, and you're saying now we need Simmons to play with Embiid.
Yeah.
That's the option.
Seriously,
that's
crazy.
That's indicating Doc from Coach of the Year to me right there.
That's a great point, and I believe he is because we're in first place, a team that was struggling so much last year. But with that being said, I believe if we get like a true point guard, because this is the thing, I know I said this a billion times, but Ben Simmons can play point guard. He's not the point guard of the team. He doesn't know how to stop the ball properly. He stops the dribble too much. He needs to stop passing the ball backwards. We need actually like a real point guard that can come in and be the true floor general and kind of like teach Ben on how to really be a point guard, because he's still very raw. He has a lot of bad habits.
I agree with you to some extent, and there was a couple of issues that I had with that. I feel like Ben Simmons is a real point guard. I feel like he really ain't much more than a point guard. The problem is that he can't shoot, which everybody knows. He can't shoot, and that's the new wave of point guards nowadays. It's like if you're a point guard on any other team, you usually shooting the ball. I don't care who you are. You got some type of shooting skill. If Ben Simmons could just start making jump shots, if that was something that he actually worked on.
Let me put it to you like this. Rondo is a true point guard. He's a true floor general. He can't shoot. You don't have to shoot a lot. Like,
you hit him when
I
they count.
do agree with you. He does need to shoot a lot more. Now, with that being said, like he doesn't have to shoot all the time. I think he just needs to be a lot more efficient with the ball and not turn over the ball in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? He disappears a lot in the fourth quarter. That's stuff that he can't be doing. Like, you can't be a point guard and disappear in the fourth quarter and pass the ball once you get to the 3-point line and completely disappear. You have to be around. You have to like tell players like get in the paint. Move here, set up screens, things like that.
The crazy part is you look around the league, this nigga shooting 3 for 17. I'm like, what the fuck?
Come on, for real?
This nigga, they say
let that shit go.
Okay, bet. All right, okay, cool. All right, let me get up 12-3. Nigga, I'm a five of them motherfuckers too. What you talking about? Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything you saying, Robert, is true, man. I agree with 100%. The shooting aspect. Did you see the playoffs last year with the Lakers? Rondo was knocking down 3 balls left and right.
He nice.
Go back and check the stats.
No, Ben too.
He nice
so
now.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm putting $1 million on Rondo.
Oh,
Rondo versus Ben Simmons in a 3-point contest. I'm taking Rondo all day.
Oh,
so
man,
that's why Rondo look a little bit.
It's gonna be 11.
I'm taking Rob. What are you talking about? I'm taking Rob. I'm taking Gio. I'm taking Dmo. I'm taking a lot of y'all over here, man. Come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, man.
The trial of convicted murderer Derek Chauvin has come to an end, and the outcome, although completely correct, was still somewhat surprising. The murderer was convicted of killing George Floyd, whose death set off global protest and unrest for months. The jury took about 2 days to render the verdict, convicting the former officer, whose next appearance in court will most likely be for sentencing. Now, guys, and Gio, I'm gonna say this to you first. Like, honestly, I really don't have a true question for you. I just want to know from you brothers your thoughts and your feelings about the trial. Did you watch it? How'd you feel about it? And anything you want to add on to it, I'm completely here for.
I didn't watch it at all. I felt as though that this is bullshit. Like, all this is bullshit. A week-long trial to show something that was very obvious to see and obvious to tell. It's just bullshit. It's just a distraction and a tool being used to drain our energy and divert our attention. I'm tired of seeing violence against Black people just being displayed and it seems as though it's to some people amusement. They're putting our pain on display and they're getting TV ratings with it, and they're getting social media hits from it, and they're writing articles about it just to get publicity from it. And I'm tired of all of that. This is somebody who lost their life. We just went around saying Black Lives Matter, and obviously it does is making profit because that's what they're doing. They profited from our pain, and I'm tired of that. I am not giving my energy to no more of these shit like this. Like, I couldn't even imagine if something happened to someone that was close to me and it's being displayed and overshown and shown again, their death. Like, imagine that your loved one's death is being replayed over and over again. and everybody has a strong opinion about someone they didn't know that was close to you. Like all that shit is just like, it bothers me to no end. And I didn't want to give none of my energy to that because it disgusted me.
Dig.
You know, I felt it was disrespectful.
All right, dig. Rob, same to you, bro. Just want to know your thoughts, your feelings about this trial, man, and how it went down.
I mean, I don't know I don't know how to feel, to tell you the truth. You know, I put myself in his shoes, you know, when I see that video, because, you know, I went to college in Iowa and I dealt with cops. You know, just stopping me for the fuck of it because they know I'm not from around town. I think my military ID saved my life a couple times. And that's a very scary thought. You know what I mean? The more thought I give to it, the more I look back and I go like, man, I got lucky. But, you know, not everybody's in the military. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has the patience and you know, the discipline to like deal with an asshole cop. You know, the cop kills you. What are the odds of justice actually happening? So, you know, what we need to do is just, you know, retrain cops. Same shit as always. You know, I'm just tired of the same shit. You know, the whole trial was literally to disguise a lot of stuff that was going on, especially, you know, Biden still hasn't done shit for black people. You know what I mean? I feel like it was all a distraction. You know what I mean? So cops need to learn how to de-escalate a situation.
Correct.
And, you know, like I always said, like I got military training, but I have better training to deal with actual civilians. The cops in this country, who their main job is to deal with civilians in a non-combat situation. So it's just sad. It's just, the whole thing is sad, man.
Word.
I mean, I've been kind of looking at it in two different lights, actually. I've been looking at it from the perspective of, why does this happen to black people? You know, like why is it so difficult for most Americans and a lot of Americans to realize that this is a problem? Most people just won't react to it, won't think much of it. I think that bothers me. It's just still happening. You know, it's not something that's going away. It's not like, you know, that was the see all, tell all, you know, and that was it, you know, and that fixes something.
That's real.
The other light that I want to kind of look at it at, I work in retail. So everyone in my whole store was paying attention to the verdict because of all of the craziness that happens when something negative happens or something that's completely incorrect happens and people just, you know, go off about it, you know? You know, it's scary to know that we can offset people to where they don't even think about the consequences of what's going on, you know? So from that perspective, it's just like, okay, I wish that things happen correctly and things happen fairly, just for a safety standpoint for the rest of the community, you know? So that's just my thoughts on it.
I didn't watch it at all. When they called it, I didn't want to see any of it. I just couldn't. I didn't want to watch it. I did other stuff. I know what the verdict should have been. I know what it was supposed to be. But history has taught me I can't be 100% sure that justice will be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's rare that I've seen it. You know, seeing what we've seen for decades and centuries, you know, in this country, it just, nobody feels 100% like it was going to happen. There was still a part in your head that was like, be ready for anything. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at people being happy, because I spoke to a lot of my family members who are older than me, who've seen more than me and, you know, went through more of this stuff than I did. And a lot of them, you know, were happy. A lot of them were crying. A lot of them just had real emotion about it because they took it differently than I did. They were like, yeah, we haven't seen it either. And I don't want to crap on none of that happiness, because that's real. You know, they've been through more than I've been through. They've seen more than I did. But it's hard for me just to applaud somebody who's doing what you're supposed to do in this country or any country. When you do a wrong to someone, justice should be served. Then on the top of those things, like when I was reading how when he went to prison, how they removed all the black guards away from him. Like they sent them home. They took them off duty because they were like, they didn't want to bring any black cops around because they didn't know what they would do. And I'm like, they can't be professional. They know how to do that job. They only do that to black cops. You know how many black people have been in jail that done that like that? And the reason they do stuff like that, because they're like, this is what we would do. We would be out there trying to drag them out. And again, history has shown you that. I don't want to say this needs to be a consistent thing because I don't want to see this again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if I don't want consistency in it, but I can say I do want justice seen constantly, period. I'll just say that.
You know what it's like, Dave? It's like somebody owing you money. They late paying you your money back, and they making a big deal out of giving you your money.
Right.
And your point that you was making, Rob, about training, I don't think it's training. It's a fucking psychological thing that people doing.
This is the reason why I tell you why training is so important. Because if they up, the police department itself can wash their hands and be like, we didn't teach you that. It will be easier to prosecute a cop when you have better training. It's just, we live in such a crazy time, like it really is. And I don't think it's a scary time, but there's so much, it's just so much wildness, man. Like, you know, it's just a lot of contradiction. And I don't know how the we can fix it, man. Like, the internet is actually making it worse.
I think we need regulation. We need to change the regulation. We don't need more training because you give more training and they go say, I was in fear of my life, and they get off.
The system is against it. There's no question. But like I said, like training creates instincts. If you have good training and you up, like, it's just so much easier to prosecute you, take you to jail instead of, oh, well, you know, he was fearing for his life. Like, okay, he was fearing for his life, but these are the tools that we gave him. So when he is in that situation, you know, he has to do this because this is our policy and this is what we practice and this is how we train. So it's just, it comes down to that. Like, the system is against us. I'm not saying it isn't. The whole system is against us to the point where not a lot of people had a lot of faith that Chauvin was going to become guilty on all 3 charges.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I tell you the truth. I can just see it from my point of view. I'm with you. You know, a point like that, you don't see that in, like, developed countries. Like, you don't see that. Like, you don't see cops just becoming the judge, the juror. It's just, you don't see that. You know, even if you up, like, death should not be your sentence. It's not one thing, it's many things to reform the system. But I still feel strong about training. You know what I mean? And you know what? Shout out to all the good cops that don't get on TV, that don't kill people, that actually do their job. You know what I mean? It's just, damn, man. It's not a few bad apples. It's the system. Like, it's the system. And it's not one answer. It's a lot of answers that we got to come up with to fix the system.
And I talk a lot of stuff about LeBron as the basketball player, personally. But LeBron, the activist, I think, you know, I respect him so much, so highly, because he speaks on these topics, and he's so articulate, you know, with what he thinks and how he feels about it. And I think one of the things he said was that, you know, to Rob's point, not all cops are bad. You know, he was saying that, you know, if his family is in trouble, he's gonna call 911 because he wants the cops to come there and make sure stuff is right. But the problem is that, yeah, it's issues in the system. It's also issues in training. I mean, I think one of the things I really I'm not sure of is, how do you find out that somebody's racist? How do you really know somebody's racist from taking a test? People take tests to beat the test, to cheat the test, to, you know, not show they specific personality. And I think that's part of the problem too. These psychological tests, they gotta get a little bit more in depth. And it should really be some type of consideration to putting people who have grown up in segregated communities, all white communities, and then all of a sudden you give them a badge and a gun, and then you put them in a black neighborhood.
True.
That's a problem. That's something that they should look at when you talk about training, when you talk about just all of the things involved. To me, that's a big portion of it.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for what you all came for. The world famous, the one and only final shot. This is the time where everybody on the panel gets that time to talk about anything that's going on in the world of sports and culture or whatever. It's up to them. So my man, Rob, the final shot, my friend, is on you.
Last week was a very tragic week for myself. I've been going through a lot. You know, there's a serious epidemic going on in Puerto Rico, and I'm not talking even about COVID-19. I'm talking about the wave of violence against women that's going on in Puerto Rico. And I know no one really cares about what's going on. It's only 3.2 million people. But let me get this straight. 2021 has been one of the deadliest years for women in the island. We need to stop thinking that women are objects, and we need to start thinking that, you know, to women as they're human beings. Like one of my good friends got murdered in cold blood last week. It brought tears to my eyes. It killed me to the point where I haven't cried in a long time, man. It's just so sad. The person I know since I was like very young, you know what I mean? It's just, it brought me to my knees, basically. Same thing with Felix Verdejo, one of the biggest prospects in Puerto Rican boxing history, one of the few guys who went toe-to-toe with Lomachenko as an amateur in the Olympics. And this guy just murdered his side chick. This dude was married with a kid. Like, you know what I mean? We talk about Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about women's lives matter, especially in the Caribbean, because we got to do something. And the system is against women because my friend tried to get a restraining order from the cops, and the judge wouldn't give it to her. We got to do something more for Puerto Rican women. We got to put this on the spotlight. I know CBS did a great job covering both murders, but it was just only two. There was a lot more than that.
My man, Gio, the final shot, my friend, is on you.
So I'm here to talk about the fourth most important sport in this country. You know, you got number one, basketball right now. You got number two, football. You got number three, hockey. You got number four, professional wrestling. And the worldwide leader in this sport is the WWE.
Fact.
And they just let go of Samoa Joe. Now, for those who aren't informed on who Samoa Joe is, that would be like the NBA getting rid of Damian Lillard. This man can talk his ass off, promote fights, have great fights, believable, charismatic. He has the total package for everything. But Vince McMahon, the old man that he is, he's pushing about like 90 years old about now. He don't see any profitability in a fat Samoan guy who can knock people's heads off. I don't get it. He talk shit. He like a little fat rock. He like a little fat rock that can back it up. Like, I don't get it. You know, like you see him, you're like, that guy could kick my ass for a long time. That's how fat he is. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. I don't know what the WWE is going through right now, this identity crisis. There's not too many people who make a name for themselves outside of the WWE that casual fans know.
Fact.
Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega. Those are superstars without the power backing of $1 billion corporation. Yeah. And to have one of those players and not utilize him and then just to let him go is absurd to me.
Dmo,
Yo,
my friend from the crib, the final shot is on you.
I wanted to talk about mainly the thought of getting immunized, being immunized. I see, a lot of people, scare away from immunization and scare away from, the thought of getting shots and stuff like that. But I'm starting to see, other than the Johnson & Johnson situation, I'm starting to see that curve decline a little bit. And because I'm in retail, I always try to push, things that I feel like is helping in some type of way. I wouldn't force it down anybody's throat. But if we think about wanting to be safe, wanting to be able to get back to normal, I really feel like that's something that people should look at, something that people should think about. At least think about it for yourself. At least think about it for your family. At least think about it for your freedom. I mean, as far as not being stuck in the house, not having another situation happen where, a pandemic can, just pretty much handicap everybody, handicap the entire country, handicap the entire world. I like to travel, and I plan on traveling, to different countries. It's looking like if you ain't getting immunized, you might not be traveling like that. So if you want to live a healthier life, or if you want to make sure that you're not sick, this is something that you might need. This is something that might keep you healthier. So just my thoughts around something different.
Yeah. Actually, I want to talk about something that Gio just talked about, and that's wrestling. I watched WrestleMania. I had a great time watching it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It honestly was the blackest WrestleMania I've pretty much ever seen in my life. The match of the entire thing was Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the women's title. 2 black women headlining WrestleMania has never happened. And I believe 2 black people in general, just period, headlining WrestleMania has never happened, okay? Removing the historical aspects of it, it was a damn good match. That match was great. It was just awesome to watch. Bianca Belair is incredible. That's just an incredible wrestler. I've never really seen anything like her. On the mic, she's great. In the ring, she does stuff I didn't even think you could do. When she found out she was going to WrestleMania, you watched her cry in the ring. I mean, you felt that. When you saw her win the actual match against Sasha Banks, and you watch her dad jump over the barricade because he was so excited, you felt that. It was real. It was sincere. And that's one of her great appeals of it, man. So just much love to her and what she's doing. And I cannot wait to watch the WrestleMania match between Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. I can't wait to see that match. That's going to be some special stuff. And that, ladies and gentlemen, sadly is the end of our show. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for checking this out. Wait, what did you say? You wanted more of this? Well, guess what? You can get more. You can go to the Bawl Sports Network podcast page and you can listen to this in podcast form. And you will love it because there's more extras there. We talk a little more stuff on there just for you. So make sure you check that out anywhere you get podcasts. So shout out to my man Rob. Shout out to my man Dmo. Shout out to my man Gio. And shout out to everybody at the OOC Network and the Bawl Sports Network, which this is a part of. I'm your host, Big Dave. We'll check you next time because this is Open Gym Sports and Culture.